Good morning, Twitch.tv. Good morning to YouTube as well. And of course, good morning, Mini Motorways. Let's go to Wellington for today's daily challenge where bridges will not require road tiles and all destinations will be much busier. Samurai Sam drops a crab rave on us. Good morning, Sam. Sam was also here first. Hulkamat is here as well. Good morning, Hulkamat. Says all bridges, all the good Lord. Note to self, turn down your speakers just ever so slightly. Bug Unicorn is here. Good morning, buggers. Bug Unicorn gives us a crab rave as well. Let's bring this blue road up along here, down that away. Hulkamat with the crab rave. Thank you, Hulkamat. All the crabs, they are raving about, well, we talked about it on the starting soon screen, the pretty dang good professional wrestling show that happened last night, if I do say so myself. AEW Dynamite episode number 250. Good Lord. 250 episodes of this weekly wrestling television program. It's almost as though the company's not dying and going to be fine. That doesn't track with my doomerism. Hi, Nora. You're very meowy this morning. You've recently vomited. It's nice. I'm happy for you. It is nothing compared to Give 'em Him. To be fair, their production values are a little bit higher, and only a little bit, but their production values are a little bit higher, and it's probably more effort to put on an episode of AEW Dynamite than it is to put on an episode of Good Morning Mini Motorways. So, you know, but it's close. It's, you know, I'm kind of rocketing past them on the old episode tally. I'm sorry, the old episode what? The old episode tally. I made a funny. Anyway, we got to get this red over to this, and, well, I guess we're going to do that. In the fullness of time, I'd really like to see a roundabout here. Hey, look, a roundabout here. Hey, look at that. It'll be the roundabout. I don't remember the lyrics to that song. Yeah, it's been a while since I heard it. Anyway, that's the roundabout. We get these two reds to go over here. These three blues go up and in like so. Good Morning Mini Motorways is coming to you live from the Goog's living room. That's true fact. But you do know what that means. Thank you, Hulkamat. I feel like we can't get out of this conversation without hitting this button at least once. Excuse me. So these two reds here go in like so. This yellow is annoying, but it's fine. It's getting to a point where I might want to figure out a way to get yellows from up here down to this business, but no, we're not going to do that just yet. Good morning, Peters19. It's tree singular about to be killed. It's the plot of the movie Happy Death Day. Tree singular about to be killed. All right, are we going to do anything about, Well, this is a circle with only 3 houses going to it, so you know what? Hold on. I feel as though we're missing something here. Let's do this now. So now we have 5 going up and around and over to there. And these 2 swing down here like so. Okay. That seems a little bit more reasonable. Just a little tiny bit. Give me a bridge. We don't presently have any bridge. The old ladies in our retirement community have nothing to do with their cards if we don't have any bridge. Got this greenway the hell over here. Interesting. Can I cut this corner? No. If I wanted to, yeah, no. There's no way to get these up and around and over here, so they might as well go through. Like so. Boop, and boop, and boop, and boop. Waboop. Hulkamat dropping the deep cut Super League lore in the chat. I haven't checked on the Super League Discord in a minute. I hope Smasher's doing okay. I'm going to assume that everything is largely the same as it was, which is to say, not super great, but we're hanging in there, which is kind of how, life works, really. Anybody noticed that Biden's policy positions have been tracking very far to the left, comparatively speaking, just as everyone in the world is like, this dude has no fucking chance? I'm not saying that he's, desperately jumping toward left-wing populism in an awful attempt to do the thing that any politician who actually wanted to win office would have been doing for decades. But, listen, as an aspiring left-wing populist, I'll take what I can get. Oh, good God. All right. We got to get Blues up to here, which is oh boy. There's a pain in the ass. How about that wrestling last night? It was good wrestling. It was good wrestling. There was a good wrestling match last night. It was long. It was MJF and Will Osprey. They had an hour-long match for reasons. I mean, listen, if you're going to have a 60-minute time limit on matches that matter, and you're going to do 60-minute draws every 6 to 17 months or so, then every, 17 to 28 months or so, you should have a match that goes like 59 minutes and 58 seconds. That was cool. It was different. They did an awful lot of smoke and mirrors. Yeah, okay, so the finish of the match is... Wait a second, why am I putting all of these blues on this road? This road doesn't go to the blues. This road goes up here. So these blues aren't actually doing anything, and this just went circular. So there's all sorts of bad happening there now. Not in love with that. Is there anything I'm going to do about that? I mean, probably. In the fullness of time, I think we're about to fill out our time, actually. So these blues, all of these blues, every last one of these blues, even this blue, is going to hop onto this road. I'm just going to kill motorway number 1, actually. For you see what we can do. This would want to be a traffic light, though. So right now what we're going to do is this thing. And now all of the blues on this road are just going to, share with the greens that are sustaining this business. Eventually, if I get more traffic lights, I'm going to want a traffic light cut up here, which will be fine-ish, but not super awesome. Give me a tunnel. So Will Ospreay's got this move that, some guy invented in 1991. It's called the Tiger Driver 91. You can understand the naming convention. And basically the move is he grabs a guy by the arms and he flips him up so he's upside down, and then he spikes him on top of his head. And it fucking hurts, and it knocks the guy out, and he wins the match with it. And one time, Will Ospreay did this move on Bryan Danielson. And in canon, Bryan Danielson in Wrestling Canyon, Bryan Danielson, the real-life wrestler, really, really likes to pretend that he has been horrendously crippled and paralyzed by a wrestling move because it's really good at doing the thing that professional wrestling is supposed to do, which is making fans forget that the thing they're watching is fake and get them to believe, oh my God, the dude I really like is really fucking hurt. Oh God, no. Which, on the one hand, is kind of the point. On the other hand, Bryan Danielson, we really like you, and we don't like being afraid that you've legitimately broken your neck on account of your very legitimate history of severe neck injuries. But Bryan Danielson really, really likes selling wrestling moves like fucking death, as though he's, had something horribly wrong happen to his body, and now he is crippled forever. So, Will Ospreay did the Tiger Driver 91 on Bryan Danielson, and Bryan Danielson sold it like fucking death. As one does. And they ran an angle. They ran an angle of like, oh my God, oh my fucking God, that Tiger Driver 91 damn near crippled Bryan Danielson. And so Will Osprey, who in storyline is a decent person, is like, hold on a second. I know we're in an athletic competition here, and we're, fighting over stuff and belts and championships and prizes and the like, but I'm a decent person. I don't want to literally actually cripple people, so maybe I should stop doing the Tiger Driver 91. You know what? I'm going to stop doing the Tiger Driver 91. And Will Osprey decides he's not going to do the Tiger Driver 91, and his manager, Don Callis, who's a prick, is like, but Will, it good at win wrestling match. Which, I mean, on the one hand is fairly sound logic, on the other hand it makes Don Callis a prick because Don Callis care more about wrestling match than cripple opponent. This bad. These blues, for lack of a better way to get over to here, I'm going to have these blues jump through this way and get into this double plaza like so, which is just truly awful. I hate it, but I'm also not generally a fan of having all of the reds tucked up here in the northwest corner when the red business is over here and I don't have a tunnel. Like, if I had a tunnel, I would be more accommodating to the situation of the Reds here, but I don't, so they need to fuck right off to Cincinnati or something. It's the little-known second verse to the WKRP song. You'll fuck right off the air to Cincinnati. That's kind of what happened. Anyway. So these two yellows are going to hook down here into this way. That's going to be fine. I'm going to slap this red on this road, I guess, just get a little more support going for this circle. Could really, really, really badly use a tunnel right about now, but, I suppose we're not going to do it. So Will Osprey has this move, the Tiger Driver 91, and it really fucking hurts people. And he's like, I should maybe not do the Tiger Driver 91 on account of the fact that it cripples people. And, fair, but at the same time, it's, it's a little bit hard to believe that this, professional wrestler wouldn't want to do the move that wins in professional wrestling matches. But, okay, whatever. You do you, Will Osprey. What the hell is going on with all of these greens? We've got these two here. We've got this circle up here that probably needs more support than I'm presently giving it. Boop, like so. This just came into existence, which, not a fan. You cut down here like so while we figure out a way to get... How on earth do we get greens over to you? That's a good question. Hopefully some greens spawn, but I don't think we're going to be Allen in this situation. We don't have any green spawn. It's a Federal Reserve joke right there. You come up here. We'll get yellows to point in this way, support that business from the west. That'll be A-okay. This green over here is still presently fucked, but, You go that way, you go that way. All right, we've got all of the greens in the fucking world over here, but none of the greens in the aforementioned fucking world have gotten over this way, which frankly I think is rude. Like, come on, greens. What's your deal? I don't think they have a deal. I think they're just jerks. All right, here's the plan. This is an awful plan, by the way. I need you to appreciate how awful this plan is. 1, 2, I need 3 road tiles from somewhere. Can I get 3 road tiles from these beiges? Eventually. Sort of. It's a good question. Why did no one consider my plans when they were fucking? Hello, Scoop of Peaches. Thank you for being here and for the hashtag lurking. Sam, every plan I have seems like a terrible fucking plan. This plan here is especially questionable. But give me more. Somebody's got to actually have road that they can spare me right now, right? Can I borrow some asphalt? Can you lend me a cup of tar? Bad Simpsons reference. Okay. Oh, good. We got our 3 road tiles. So the plan, I actually needed 4. Mother of fuck. This is so bad for me. You go that way. Can I kill these? I can chop these. Okay. We'll chop that. There. We've chopped that and done that. So the plan is that the greens that are going this way can also just kind of divert themselves over this way. Like here. Motorway number 1 can be moved up by 1 tile on the left side. No, it can't. No, it absolutely cannot. This was as far north as I could get it. This situation here, by the way, still bad. Like, all sorts of bad shit is happening here. I don't think we're surviving this, y'all. I think, yeah, actually. So MJF and Will Osprey have this, like, 59-minute match, and it's good and it's fun, and they're doing crowd brawling. And listen, MJF is a guy who likes saying that he did an incredible 59-minute match, and, well, there was a lot of smoke and mirrors involved in getting MJF through 59 and a half minutes of wrestling, but listen, MJF's good at smoke and mirrors, so. And there was a Cody Rhodes reference in the match, so it's not the only time I get to say smoke and mirrors. Did you look at pressure? I glanced at it. Didn't seem like something that was terribly appealing to me. 784 commuters is not a good score. It's top 35% in the world. Now, ordinarily, this would be the part of the program where we go over here and check how we did among friends, and I suppose I should, given that there are friends of mine who aren't Samurai Sam that play this game. But I think we can already see that, yeah, horror's not my thing at all. So there's that. Samurai Slam is the emote we're going to drop today because, oh boy, Sam. Somebody beat your score, Sam, but, oh boy, it was not me. It was not the _ Goog. No. No, 'twas not. All right, let us bring in our very good friend, the Wordle window, like so. And hey, it's not cutting off chat today because I finally figured out the layering order. Good job, Goog. Hey. Anyway, Here's the thing with horror, the Goog does not like being scared. Also, gore and blood and knives. Ow. So, there's, MJF and Will Osprey have this, like, 59.5-minute match, and it's good. It's long, but it's good. And then, in the finishing moment, Will Ospreay's done everything he can possibly think of doing, and he gets MJF up for the Tiger Driver 91, and then he's like, wait a second, I said I would never do this move, oh no! Oh, I don't want to do the move! And he kind of drops MJF, not like, drive him into the mat on his head, but like gently put him down so as not to break him. And then it turns out that MJF was waiting for an opportunity to cheat, and he successfully cheats, and he won Will Ospreay's title, which is a mean thing for a person to do, but it ties nicely. I think it was a fine finish, honestly. The issue Hulkamat mentioned is when Will Ospreay was going for the world title against Swerve Strickland like 3 weeks ago, he went for the Tiger Driver 91 and Swerve countered it. So it's a little hypocritical and a little inconsistent for Osprey to suddenly go for the Tiger Driver 91 and then stop himself and be like, wait a second, I wasn't going to use this move. There's an argument to be made that there's a difference between defending your international title and winning the world title, but, it's also totally reasonable to say that Will Ospreay has been inconsistent in his application of whether or not he's willing to do the Tiger Driver 91. That's totally fair. At the same time, just in a vacuum, I like the story. Will Ospreay is a good person who did a good thing as in did not do the thing he was capable of doing that has the potential to literally actually cripple a man. MJF is a bad person who did a bad thing. And the bad thing is that, when Will Osprey was distracted with his brief crisis of conscience, MJF reached into his trunk, pulled out a very heavy loaded diamond ring, kabonked Will Osprey in the skull with it, broined him unconscious, and won his title. That's a mean and bad thing for a person to do. You should be mad at the mean and bad thing that the person did to win the match and the belt. You should, in fact, want the good person to win his belt back from the mean and bad person at, say, a big pay-per-view event. Now, if only there was a big pay-per-view event coming up in, 6 weeks that just happened to be in Will Ospreay's home country. If only there was a massive football stadium in the capital city of the aforementioned home country of the previously stated Mr. Osprey, wherein Will Osprey could come in and be like, "You, MJF, are a horrible cheating man, and I, Will Osprey, am the upstanding virtuous one, and I, on my home soil, shall defeat you and win back my belt because I am greater than you and you are aware of the fact." That sort of thing. If only that was such a thing. If only AEW had a pay-per-view event in London at Wembley Stadium on August 17th or something like that. Oh well. Anyway, Blood and Guts is next week. It's the worst built Blood and Guts match ever, and it contains the rotting, decaying corpses of the Heat of the Acclaimed, which, well, is a whole bunch of choices, but it's gonna serve to set up Hangman versus Okada, and I'm happy with the idea of Hangman versus Okada. The next truly great Okada match I see in AEW will be the first, but, he's only had maybe half a dozen chances. But Hangman's great, so listen, it's gonna be Hangman versus Okada. It's gonna be cool. Also, they're already quasi-turning Hangman babyface, but the crowd was always going to love them some Hangman, so even if he's evil, hate-filled cowboy, he's still, our adorable, anxious millennial cowboy. Just ever so slightly more violent, because it's professional wrestling. You kind of have to bake in the ever so slightly more violent, because it's professional wrestling, into, everything. Because, after all, it is professional wrestling. So anyway, Wordle. It could be, I don't know. It could be Perth, except for the fact that Perth is a city, not a word. So it's probably not Perth. But it could be birth. Could have to give something a wide berth. No? Well, I got the E and the R in the right place. Got that going for me. It could be Verge. No, it can't be Verge. Ends with an E. We know that there is an E in the second letter position, so dang it. It could be Murpy. Yeah. Murpy? No? Okay. It could be that one webcomic where the handsome, well-dressed fella goes into a lady's office and is like, "Hey, Susan, you want to get drinks later?" And Susan's like, "Oh, swoon." And then the second panel of the comic is a schlubbier, balder guy goes into an office and is like, "Hey, Susan, you want to get drinks later?" And Susan's like, "Ah, Pervy." Could be Pervy. There's a very long setup to that Wordle guess, but you know the webcomic. Listen, if I was doing post-production on these, I would put the webcomic right there, but I'm not, so I'm not. But you know the one. Anyway, the hell is this word? It could be jerky. It could absolutely be jerky. I like jerky. I've recently discovered a fact about myself, which is that I don't actually care much for the quote-unquote true artisanal, locally grown and locally grown, locally sourced beef jerky. Not a fan of that. I need me that Jack Link shit. I need me that, heavily seasoned, heavily spiced, heavily sweetened, faux teriyaki nonsense, which is probably not a great thing, but, it's 240 calories a bag and it's yummy, and sometimes you're on the road. Also, the hell is this Wordle? We've gone through 3 perfectly cromulent guesses. It could be nerdy. I mean, it's... Thank you, Bagunicorn. Thank you. Oh, God. This was a Wordle. Most certainly was that. Let's draw some connections now, shall we? All right, let's see here. So if we have some Ritz or some Dazzle, this is like a flash, pizzazz here. All sizzle. It's the sizzle relative to steak. So maybe sparkle? Could be sparkles. Yeah, I think sparkles here. We've got flash, Ritz, Dazzle, and sparkles. It's just a fancy substance lacking accoutrement. That sort of thing. No? Damn it! Curses. Well, it could be pomp. Oh, damn it. Maybe instead of sparkles, it's pomp? Yeah? Yaha! Glitziness. There you go. Samurai Sam has pointed out a couple. We have plaza and square and court and yard. These are all gathering areas in front of fancy buildings, and also secondary street names. It's not like street, avenue, or boulevard, but you get down to like, oh, I live on Hemingworth Plaza. Don't ask me where Hemingworth Plaza is. Anyway. And then we have contest, bout, round, and match, because, that's fight, breaks ups, that sort of thing. And Kavoosh. Oh, Westman recently discovered the show that goes wrong. I've heard good things about that. I think Parlor Ghosts Theater was doing the show that goes wrong recently. Samurai Sam, are you telling me that the fancy schmancy ritzy ditzy Hemingworth Plaza, which I just made up off the top of my head, is not actually a thing? I was going for the over-the-top posh voice there, and then it wound up being Cockney, which... There's several things I could do with that phrase. Instead, we're gonna... The play that goes wrong, not the show that goes wrong. It's a different thing. Sparkles, Skull, Fire, Heart. They are, I don't know, weird planeteers. Sparkles, Skull, Fire. They're emoji. Everything's up. They're emojis. I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Connections. Like, I suppose you're not wrong. But at the same time, everything... Sparkle, Skull, Fire, and Heart are emoji. Did you know that? Today's theme for Strands is At Your Fingertips, which is, I don't know, typewriting, trying to remember your lines, turn signals. Here is turn and turns to everything. Turn. No? Okay. There is a season. Right here. We've got bear and bears and bared and bard and orcs. Hold on, this is a very D&D heavy board. Everything's a damn... Oh, I never took down the Wordle rules. Oops. I never took down the gentle, please don't tell me what the fucking answer is text. Oopsie. Thank you, Sam. One of these days, we're going to be a big enough channel here that I can hire someone to just be like, hey, wait a second, Goog, you're fucking something up. Goog. That day is not today. Keyboard. Yeah, that's probably... Okay, that makes sense. That would be a perfectly cromulent spangrum right there. So is this just like letters? Like, or keystrokes, or is it keys on a keyboard? Do we have like enter? Because we do appear to have enter. Interesting. We do have control and delete, which could be terrifying, except for the fact that alt is a 3-letter word, and it goes against the theme of strands, which is good because I don't feel like experiencing loss today. I don't know about any of y'all, but anyway, here's return, and I thought this was going to be space, but no. What is it then? Actually, oh, it's escape. That's escape, and this is shift, and this over here is space. I'm sorry, what word is this? Stream Deck button?
In space.
Interesting. Yay! We have completed a Strands game, and for today's Immaculate Grid, we need All-Stars, Dudes What Threw a No-Hitter, White Sox, Orioles, Nationals, and Dudes What Struck Out 2,000 dudes in their career. A Washington National, who was also an All-Star, is, I think Pedro made an All-Star team with the Expos. Would make sense if he did. He totally did! Bang, Pedro! Pedro Martinez. I have nothing to contribute to the show/play that goes wrong discussion. I've heard that it's good. We also need a dude who played for the Nationals and White Sox. That would be one Bartolo Colon. And we need a dude who played for the Nationals and the Orioles. That's J.J. Hardy? Was J.J. Hardy a National? I don't think so, actually. I think I'm incorrect. Brady Anderson? Brady Anderson. No, I don't think it's Brady Anderson. It's not BJ Surhoff. And again, I'll say, Anyway, let's return. A Chicago White Sox pitcher who threw a no-hitter is Mark Burley. And a dude who was an all-star and threw a no-hitter is Clay Buchholz. Clay Buchholz did both of those things. Dude who was an all-star and had 2,000 Ks in his career, that could also be the Pedro Martinez button, but instead we'll go with Zach Greinke. Doot. Boggers heard that as click buttholes, which, I mean, given Clay's college endeavors, he was kind of a click butthole. If you really think about it, you're not wrong. He was a bit of a click butthole in college. It's a true fact. Dude who played for the White Sox and had 2,000 strikeouts in his career is Jack McDowell? No, I don't think Jack McDowell got that many strikeouts. See, the problem is the White Sox have only had like one good pitcher in the last 25 years, and it's Mark Burley. So can't use him again. I'm forgetting a dude. I'm definitely forgetting a dude. I'm forgetting 4 dudes at present. Okay, so there's got to be like Bartolo would have fit. That's true. That's a factual statement. All right. Good starting pitcher on the White Sox in my lifetime. Is it Chris Sale? Does Chris Sale have 2,000 strikeouts? 2,000 strikeouts is a lot of strikeouts. On the other hand, Chris Sale strikes out a lot of dudes. It could be Chris Sale. How many good seasons of starting pitching has Chris Sale actually had? Because 2,000 strikeouts is like 8 good seasons, at least. And Chris Sale's had, let's do this off the top of my head. 2 with the Red Sox, 2 with the White Sox, 1 with Atlanta, like half of 1 with the White Sox, like half of 1 with the Red Sox, probably another like half of 1 with the Red. Fuck it, it's Chris Sale. I've talked myself into Chris Sale. If it's not Chris Sale, I'm gonna be mad. It's Chris Sale! Yay! I was correct. I also probably, for one, I probably undersold just a little bit how good a starting pitcher Chris Sale has been, and also he was a very good relief pitcher for a while too, so he's got that going for him. Okay, now let's remember some Baltimore Orioles, which is where this all falls apart. I feel like an Oriole threw a no-hitter fairly recently, like within the last decade and change. But fucked if I can remember who, which means we're getting to who's the most famous Oriole well, actually there are 2 famous Oriole pitchers, which is good because I need 2 Oriole pitchers. An Oriole who had 2,000 strikeouts in his career is Mike Mussina. That's a true factual statement. And then an Oriole who threw a no-hitter is either Jim Palmer or some guy I don't know, so it's Jim Palmer! Thank God. Thank God it's Jim Palmer. And now, this is not exactly a very high rarity score grid or low rarity score grid. This is a lot of dudes, actually. It's just a lot of very, very obvious down the middle answers. But listen, given how often I just totally fuck up the Immaculate Grid, I'll take some down the middle answers. Which means there's probably a very obvious down the middle Oriole national. There's a very obvious national I'm missing. Could also be an ex-Oriole, which not quite as fun to say. Fuck. All right, well, let's remember some Washington Nationals. Nick Johnson was a National. He was never an Oriole. Sammy Sosa was an Oriole. He was never a National. J.J. Hardy, as previously discussed, was an Oriole. I don't think he was a National. He could have been. He was a Twin. He was a Brewer. I don't think he was a National. Ryan Zimmerman was a National, but he was kind of only a National. That was sort of his thing. Adam Dunn was a National. I don't think he was an Oriole. Matt Stairs was an Oriole. I don't think he was a National. I'm actually not 100% sure he was an Oriole. I think he was. It would make sense if he was. Son of a bitch. Matt Wieters? Wait. Matt Wieters? Matt Wieters. Matt Wieters was an Oriole. He had a solid but unspectacular career with them. And then he was a free agent, and he signed with the Nationals. And then he was toast because he was bad. He was done. He was no longer good at baseball, and now he's not a baseball. But before that, Matt Wieters. I'm not crazy. I'm just a little unwell. Hey, Matt Wieters! I did the Immaculate Grid. Yay! Huzzah! The most famous one is Matt Wieters. Okay. I didn't think Matt Wieters would be the most famous dude to do anything really, but listen, we got the five of the most popular squares, which is nice and fun. That would be an interesting game for someone who's like better at the Immaculate Grid than I am, to try to go not for the lowest score, but the highest one. Like play Family Feud with the Immaculate Grid and see how you do. I'm not going to say that I was doing that, but if I was doing that, I would have gotten 5 today. Tim Raines, Bryce Harper, Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan, all perfectly cromulent guesses, but hey, it's me, the dude what got John Means. Yeah, John Means. He's a pitcher who exists. He's a guy who throws balls for a living. Let's guess the dot game since it's not even 20-8 and I don't have a heart out. And what the hell is this? Okay. So we have, this appears to be a tiny little island with tiny little houses on it. This is either It looks like the background of a Sonic the Hedgehog level, but it is not that. Sam thinks that it is Escape from Monkey Island, which, I mean, I did say island in describing this landmass, so sure. Is it Escape from Monkey Island? No. Wait a second. So we got this with the little huts, and then this with the little castle and the huts all around it. This is very obviously this is not a modern stylized, ooh, look at the retro pixel game graphics. No, these are just old-fashioned shitty computer game graphics. Is this like the original Sid Meier's Civilization? Is this Civ 1? Could be Civ 1. It is not Sid 1. Damn it. It was on the Commodore 64. Good lord. What the hell video game was on the Commodore 64? It's probably famous if it was on the Commodore 64 and it got to guess the dot game. Well, okay. Yeah, probably got ported to other things. I don't know. Virtua Fighter. No. Streets of Rage. Unlikely. King's Quest. Sure. Let's say that it's King's Quest. Is it King's Quest? No. No, it is not. You have arrived at the lovely seaside town of Petit Gove. The English flag flies over the town. Is it Sid Meier's Pirates? Did I have the right dude and the wrong? If I had the right dude and the wrong thing. Is it Sid Meier's Pirates? Kabang. It is Sid Meier's Pirates. God damn you, Sid Meier. Here's a painting of a boat. I guess you're supposed to identify that as a pirate ship. I suppose if you've ever played Sid Meier's Pirates, this at some point it gives itself away. This is why I never guess the dot game. It's because I'm so very bad at guessing the dot game. But, you know, we did it today with the help of our friends, by which I mean our friends guessed the game and I typed it in, which is a perfectly valid strategy. Sort of, you know, it's fine. It would be a good subathon game because you can finish it in one play. I mean, listen, I'm always on the lookout for good subathon games. I'm not going to complain about that. Hey, speaking of games, I suppose, I will be back later tonight with more of the great Ace Attorney Chronicles. We will, I think we're starting a new case. I think the last thing we did was move into our new apartment. Yeah, that sounds right. The last thing we did was move into our new apartment. Today, we will presumably work out of it because it's an office above a detective agency. That sort of thing. Maybe I could I may theoretically do a watch of the show that goes wrong. It's not the worst idea I've ever heard. We'll see. We'll think about it. We'll consider our possibilities and also get Twitch to be not mad at me. But that's another thing. Until then, thank y'all so much for watching. Bye-bye.
In the knee, okay? Don't crit on her face. I want you to put out some damage, but this is very important. Not lethal damage.